and democratic society, the police must respect you. The police must respect you, and there is no reasonable basis upon which any of you were subject to violence on that day. I've got to say, I'm one of the Greens MPs and the police and justice spokesman for the Greens in New South Wales. And what happened to you is not an isolated incident. Police violence in New South Wales gets almost no formal attention through the current complaint system. We've seen case after case where police have responded with excessive violence to citizens. We've seen people struck with tasers, repeatedly hit with tasers, 50,000 volts at a time. And guess how many police have been held accountable, had some formal disciplinary action taken for tasering citizens inappropriately? Have a guess.
None.
Absolutely. Not one. Not one New South Wales police officer has ever been formally held account for inappropriate tasering. And I don't know if any of you have seen the images of Aboriginal men on their knees begging the police, saying they've done nothing wrong and being tasered regardless. I don't know if you've seen the fact that in the last 12 months, six children aged between 10 and 14 were tasered by police. Doesn't get any... In what circumstance is it reasonable for a New South Wales police officer to taser a 12-year-old? It's impossible to imagine. And so what you've witnessed here, what you've noticed on the picket lines, is sadly not unusual in New South Wales. And until we get an independent oversight body of police complaints, until you go and when you make your complaint about what happened to you, the person listening to you is someone other than a police officer, we're never going to have accountability for police in New South Wales. Now, I know there's a petition passing around for an independent police complaints process. This is something that I've been, and my office and the Greens have been committed to campaigning for more than 2 years in New South Wales. Until we get independent oversight of police, what will happen to you will continue to happen because there are no repercussions for police when it happens. None. Violence by police against citizens exercising their democratic right to stand up for industrial entitlements, to picket against a bad employer, and if ever there's a bad employer, it's the bloke who lives up there. To picket against a bad employer is your right, and it's your right as citizens not to be injured, not to have your legs broken, not to be pushed by police when you're exercising that right. I will say this though, one good thing the police did was, apparently they created their own picket line with their police vehicles. So, you know, they might have thought they were shutting you down, but in the course of shutting you down, for once, we had the oppressive machinery of the state coming in and making its own picket line outside of New South Wales, outside of Sydney University. So, from today, remember, what happened here was not unusual. What happened here was not out of the ordinary. And unless we change the system, it'll continue to happen. So all strength to you, great campaign, and maybe we could just give one more cheer or jeer for a Vice-Chancellor who has no interest in the future of this great institution, of which I'm a graduate, and no interest in a quality education. So shame on you, VC.
Shame.
Thank you so much, David, for coming along. And I think on that note,